Okay, Joe. I thought it was about time we got started on our assignment.
Sounds a good idea.
If you remember, our assignment is about marketing online.
Mm-hmm.
So, I've been to the library and got a couple of books. One is called Principles of Direct and Database Marketing, and the other is called World Wide Web Marketing.
Okay.
Okay. Now, this one seems perfect. The one called World Wide Web Marketing, second edition, is just about marketing to the World Wide Web, which is what we're looking for.
How do you know that?
Because it's called World Wide Web Marketing.
Oh, okay.
It says it on the title. It should be the perfect thing because it's exactly what we're after.
Have you looked at anything else about the book to find out why it's the perfect book?
Not yet, no. Shall I do that now?
Yeah, I think you ought to.
Okay.
Okay, so where are you going to start?
Well, if I turn the page, I can see how many other people have taken it out, which is a pretty good guide, I think, as to how good the book is.
Why do you think that?
Well, because if everyone else has used it, it must be worth using.
Okay, that's one consideration. When was the first time it was issued?
It was first taken out in 2001.
2001?
Yeah.
So when was the book published?
It was published in 1999.
1999. So how old is that textbook?
12 years.
12 years old. Okay.
Has the web changed much in 12 years?
I think it's changed quite a lot in 12 years.
I suppose so.
Okay, so what else about a book can help us evaluate whether it's any good?
Well, I had a look at the chapters.
Okay, tell me about the chapters.
The chapters talked about the internet and the web, which is what we're looking for, getting to know the internet. Things like being kind to your users, which is the kind of thing we've been asked to look into.
So some of the chapter headings are quite relevant.
Seems so, yeah.
What about the index? Have you looked at the index at the back of the book to see if it contains any of the keywords that you're interested in finding out about?
No.
All right, let's have a look.
There must be something on Facebook, though.
Okay.
There has to be something on Facebook. There's nothing on Facebook.
Oh, okay. Why might there not be anything on Facebook?
Well, now I know that it's 1999. Facebook wasn't around in 1999.
Good piece of evaluation.
Okay.
Yeah. So this book is what we said, 12, 13 years old?
It's 12 or 13 years old.
Some of the stuff we want to find out about isn't in there.
Shall we have a look at the other one?
I think we ought to.
Okay. The other one is called Principles of Direct and Database Marketing. So it doesn't even mention the web in the title, which is why I wondered whether it might be
Okay,
any
so
good
why
or
did
not.
you choose that one then, if it hasn't got marketing in the title?
I chose it because it was actually at the same shelf number.
Ah, what does that tell you then?
Well, it tells me that the book should be on similar subjects.
Okay.
Should be.
Good.
And they were both at a shelf number called 658.84.
Okay, let's use some of the other criteria we looked at for the previous book.
Okay. Well, no one's taken it out.
Okay.
That's not a good sign.
Well, it might be, it might not be. When was it published?
It was published... well, this particular edition is quite new, actually.
When you say new...
well, this particular one is 2 years old.
2 years old, so it's quite current.
But I actually think the label might even be a new label.
Okay, so as a piece of evaluation criteria, how many people have taken it out before may not be a good one to go on.
It might not.
No.
I'm
Okay.
starting to think you might be right there.
Okay, so let's go back to that page where it told us when it was published. You mentioned something called editions?
Yes, this is actually a 4th edition, so there have been 3 previous versions of this book.
And why is that relevant?
I think it's probably a good sign that the book, that the book is worth doing new editions of each year. So it'll probably be bettered each year and include new features, more up to date, maybe.
That sounds quite good. And the topic you're researching changes quite often, doesn't it?
The web obviously changes very fast. So I guess for something like this, we really need to look at the newest stuff possible.
Yeah, that sounds a good strategy.
Okay.
Okay, look at the contents page. What are the chapters?
Well, the first thing that jumps out actually is that we've got a section called Social Networks, a New Perspective for Direct Marketing, which is pretty much exactly what we're looking for.
Sounds pretty good. Sounds pretty good. Have you gone to that chapter and had a look at the introduction?
Not yet. I think I'll probably need to do some reading at some point, don't I?
Yes, reading does help.
Yeah, I mean, this is actually about social networking and consumer behaviour. It uses a lot of the keywords that our lecturers are actually been using in the...
Great stuff, great stuff. So you've got in this book, you've got an introduction, and you've got a statement on the objectives for what it's going to cover.
Exactly.
So that's a really nice layout of the book and tells you what it's going to cover.
It even covers specific different places like Facebook, like YouTube, like MySpace.
Sounds really good.
And this one didn't include any of
Haven't
those
got any of that in at all. Have a look at the index then. See if other keywords that you're interested in finding out about are in there as well.
There's a whole load of sections on consumer behaviour, which is exactly what we were told to kind of focus on as well. There's a whole thing about branding to specific things as well. To be honest, I think this is, although at first glance this didn't seem to be the best option, I think this is actually better than the previous one.
And why do you think it's better?
It's just, it actually talks about the things that we've been discussing in class. The keywords are right, it's newer, it's definitely the better option.
Sounds good. So if we're going to summarise, when you're evaluating which books to read,
Yeah.
what key things do you think you need to consider?
I think for something like this, age is really important.
Yeah?
We definitely need to look at when the book was published. If it's a book that's had multiple editions, then that's generally a good sign. We need to check the index. We need to check the chapter headings. We could look at how many times the book's been out, but that's not necessarily a great idea. It's not a sure way of finding good info.
They sound really good strategies. I think you found the book that's really going to help you, and yeah, you need to do some reading.
Thank you.